Hi guys, my name is Fidel Ferrer, and I am considered, or I identify myself as an Afro-Latino. I'm from Cuba. Um, One of the things that struck me with the whole Black Lives Movement and the murder of George Floyd, and right after that, it was that led to a lot of anger and hate and pain from our brothers and sisters, especially in the Black community. And I'm sorry, I'm kind of like really nervous because I kind of like, I resonate with that a lot. But yet, I felt as I was watching the news and doing a lot of media kind of information, because I didn't grow up in this culture, meaning that all of the hate and for 400 years of being in that level of uncertainty and pain, I was not able to experience. We were able to experience in Cuba is a communist country. There is a different, hate against the government, oppression, but we all found the common ground and we all come together as common union. That's what community, kind of like I think to believe that stand for the same purpose of being in community. So when I saw those videos of rioting and destroying businesses and things like that, I felt in my heart that that's not what we want. That was not what I, as a Black man in this community, want to be viewed as. And I went on kind of like rants of how am I going to put all those feelings of hate and pain and distrust from my white friends, which I happen to have a lot here, especially in Portland, Oregon. And my question to you guys is to what are some resources or some practices that you guys have experienced or have done in the past when all what you have inside your bones, it's that hate and pain and that hurt from the white supremacists, from our systematic, racism, because I believe and I'm really, really in my core believe that that's not the answer. Violence is not going to be the answer for a long-lasting effect. A long-lasting effect of like healing and being able to kind of like gather and come together as a union, as once I was in my country, in my community.
Thank you for that.
Well, everybody look at this.
Of course we're all looking at you. Oh, all I know is Dr. Haynes for President 2020,
I just
Haynes
want
Jones, how's that sound?
Paul says in Ephesians, he says, be angry and sin not.
Yeah.
Deal with your anger before the sun go down, Part of being human is to get angry at times. But the question becomes, how are you going to channel that anger to produce what you really want to produce? And that is a just, equal, and righteous society that you live in. And historically, there have always been struggles from 1619, as Brian has said, and there have been different tactics, different strategies on how to achieve freedom, justice, and equality. Sometime during slavery, the only way that they could achieve was through running away or revolting against the slave master. But one of the things that Frederick Douglass, one of the great abolitionists and also a great spiritual leader, if you ever have opportunity, read the new autobiography by Blight on Frederick Douglass. He knew, in a sense, that even though John Brown, who was a great white evangelical anti-slavery, Frederick always believed that ultimately we were going to have to hold the nation together. And that's why he did not believe in just creating colonies and sending the ex-slaves there, but to hold the nation together. And the goal that he struggled with is that for the African American population to become a part of America, because their blood and sweat and tears had already laid the foundation of the nation. There's a strategy going on right now, and it's always in terms of what is the best tactic and the best strategy to achieve the goal of transforming society and to make a better, more perfect union. I believe that that is through nonviolence and direct action that we can keep the nation together and that the nation would not fall apart. And that ultimately at the end, when all is done, if we're going to survive, if we're going to be a better people, more humane people, we have to find avenues and ways to learn, first of all, how to respect each other, how to love each other, and how to treat each other as a human being. My strategy and tactics, and I've been at this a little while, is that how am I going to achieve the goal of police accountability? How am I going to achieve the goal of eliminating discrimination? How am I going to achieve the goal of creating a society where everybody is free and just? And I believe that the best way to do that is not through violence or vengeance, but the best way to do that is to direct nonviolent action that is motivated by love and the goal of reconciliation. And that struggle and that conversation will go on. I believe that we have achieved more through the civil rights movement and the leadership of Martin Luther King, and that it not only has spread it in America, but it has spread it in Europe and Africa and Asia. The tactics here in Tiananmen Square, when the revolt against Chinese authority ran, what did you hear? We shall overcome.
Yeah.
In Poland, what did you hear? We shall overcome. In East Germany, what did you hear? We shall overcome. And so a movement that started here in America will ripple across the whole world. And I believe that that is a way to create a more perfect union, But I also want to make you aware that those that were using violence downtown in different places were a very small percentage of people. Usually that's range from 200 people. There have been demonstrations downtown where there's 5,000 people or more.
Yeah.
And so the overwhelming majority of the protests have been nonviolent. But if you're going to win these citizens over who are going to help create police accountability, who are going to help create a more perfect, you got to win them over, not by fear or not by retaliation, but with love and good reasoning. Amen.
Yeah, thank you for that.
And to piggyback on that, I think the love that he's talking about is, it makes us brave. It makes us courageous. It makes us understand that there's too much at stake for us to keep being silent as the church. I mean, we have so much to say that is unusual and unsaid in our country, particularly in this, era of social, social media and all of this stuff. The Germans have a made-up word. It's Vergangenheit Bewältigung, And it's a word. It literally means to master the truth.
Wow.
And to master your past. And they made this word up to be able to talk about
Right.
how they talk about the Holocaust and that whole part of their history. And a big part of, I think, the church is going to involve us being willing to tell the truth. Being willing to tell the truth, but not stop at telling the truth. Tell the truth to the end that people are able to look at this church of truth-telling human beings and be able to tell the world you don't have to be afraid of the truth
Yeah.
or the consequences of the truth.
Yeah.
And to own with humility that while we may know the truth, we don't necessarily know the whole truth and nothing but the truth. So we have patience with one another as we walk through all of this stuff
Yeah.
and unpack all of this stuff. But if the world sees us, Jesus said, if the world sees the oneness of us as we unpack this, they will believe, Father, that you sent me.
Yeah.
And I think that we're holding back the gospel from the world
Yeah.
when we don't function
Yeah.
with truth and love at the same time.